What is up, guys? It's your favorite Bulgarian back at it again, or Enes, because that's actually my name. Anyways, I wanted to do a really quick video on the answering a question that I guess get asked a lot when I go out, and probably I get that asked about 5 times a night, if probably not even more. And when I tell these people, they are kind of confused, they don't believe me, they think I'm lying or something. But yeah, and that question is, how do I go out sober? And when I say sober, I mean not even one drink. And I do go out and drink occasionally, but a perfect ideal night for me is not to even have one sip of whatever it is. And the less ideal is maybe I'll have one drink, but I try to stick to 0 drinks a night. And that's really not what everybody does, I guess, or what almost no one does. And you might see people who don't drink and they don't even have fun, and they just stay in their corner or something and just watch others have fun. The cliche thing is, you say that you don't drink, but you can't even have fun. So why not drink and not have fun? It's just confusing. Anyways, I'll give you 10 reasons why I personally don't drink, and maybe you want to try this stuff, yeah? Reason number one, it's money. Alcohol costs lots of money, bro. If you go out like me 3 times a week or 2 times a week, that's a lot of cash, my man. With the money that you have to pay, let's say for taxi, for food, maybe you're going with your friends beforehand, for pre-drinks, drinks in the club drinks are expensive. You pay for entrance, and in a night you can round it up to between 40, 50 and 100 quid, which if you go out 2 nights, let's say that's 100 quid, 50 quid per session, 100 quid a week, 400 quid per month. 400 quid, that could be your rent. So, and you probably don't even drink only while you're going out. You probably have a pint here and there during the week as well, so that adds up. Second reason why I don't drink when I go clubbing is the health side. Alcohol affects your health negatively, everybody knows that, but everybody still keeps on drinking, blind and I would say ignorant to the fact that it's damaging your health in a negative way. Is the same shit with smoking. I'm an ex-smoker. I do occasionally, like very rarely, smoke, and I have my periods where I, let's say, don't smoke for 6 months, and then I'll go back to Bulgaria, or I'll go on a holiday or whatever, and then I'll start smoking again. And when I say smoking, I don't mean 20 pack a day or whatever. Even if it's one cigarette a day, it's still bad, and I'm aware of it, and I'm kind of dealing with it, I guess. But it's far better than what I was before, 20 fags a day. Yeah. So, reason number 3, mental side. When I say mental side, personally, when I start drinking alcohol, let's say I start going out Friday and Saturday, which I do, but I drink and get drunk. Next day I don't feel so good, and it's not just about the hangover. I'll talk about that in a second, but it's my mental state as well. I feel kind of depressed, I feel kind of anxious, and thing is, if you have like social anxiety, which means when you go out you can't socialize normally without having a drink, and if you use alcohol to kind of numb yourself out of your social anxiety, you'll have a dependence, and then you'll feel even worse when you're not drinking and you're in a social environment. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You have social anxiety, you drink, and social anxiety is, let's say you're on the dance floor and you're sober and you don't feel okay with letting go and dancing, or you don't feel okay with approaching someone and talking to them, or you don't feel okay with doing whatever, that's like social anxiety. And alcohol fixes that, but in the long run it makes you dependent on that, and when you're not drunk or not having a drink, you get even worse. So yeah, reason number 4, lifestyle side. My friend, when you get pissed drunk and the next day you have to work, you might be late to work, you might be late to college, you might be late to an interview, you might be late to an appointment, you might be late to see a friend, or even if you get up on time, you will have a shit day in general. So mostly of what drinking is, oh, I'll have this amazing night, which is amazing in quote, I'll have this amazing night, but then I'll sacrifice the day later on, you know. And yes, there are certain things that you can do to avoid having bad hangovers, as drinking only one spirit, eating good, going to the gym in the morning, and all that stuff. But why go through all that trouble when you can avoid the hangover in the first place? And I know why a lot of people do drink, and I'm not saying that I've never drunk in my life, mate. Like, if you've seen me in 12th grade or something, you'll be like, who the fuck is this guy? Or even back this year, you know, I'm not like completely alcohol free. I'm trying to be, that's my goal, but as of speaking now, I'm not. And I'm not like coming some guy who's never had a drink in his life saying alcohol is bad. You know, it's not like that. I've been where you're right now. I've been going out and drinking and getting drunk, but I've seen the other side of things, and personally for myself, I choose this side, alcohol-free side, because it has more benefits, it's sustainable, easier in the pocket, and just more fun, which I will talk later on what I mean by more fun. Okay, let's go to the next reason. Attachment. Saying attachment is like, or you can say addiction. When you go out and let's say you go to a pub or you go to a club and you always have that pint, you always have a couple of pints, you always have that drink, after a while you get addicted to it, and you never do realize it, but every time you go out you do have that drink in your hand and you become addicted to it. And any form of addiction, whether it's for food, alcohol, or drugs, is not good. As you may commonly sensely know, because it's fucking common sense, that addiction is not okay. So that's my 5 reason. It's not like a massively complex one, but it is a really, really viable one, because after a while, when you go out to clubbing or when you go to the pub and you don't have that drink, you feel a bit out of order. You don't feel yourself, or you don't have as much as fun as you would with a drink. So it's really easy to rationalize, to be like, oh, okay, you know, I'll have that drink. You've probably told yourself before that you're going to stop drinking or don't drink for a certain amount of time for whatever reason. Maybe you got really drunk and you've got alcohol poisoning, or you've just had enough of it, I guess, or you were broke or whatever. And the good side of going out and not drinking is that it doesn't cost a lot of money. Tap water in the club is free. You only have to pay entrance. And even if you're, let's say, you don't want to drink tap water, you can buy Red Bulls, which are really bad for your health. But, you know, I still do occasionally have Red Bulls if I'm feeling really, really down, which I should not, but I still do. Or you can have, I don't know, like fruit juice or something. But it's money free. And I've had friends text me, or I text them, like, hey, you going out tonight? He's like, no, man, I'm sorry, I can't. It's like, why? Like, what's wrong? He's like, oh, I'm broke, I'm trying to save money. I'm like, just don't fucking drink and you'll not end up spending money. Yeah. Reason number 6, depending on a substance in order to have a good time. And you know, these things all kind of like mash in together. And what I mean by not depending on a substance to have a good time is, ideally you should be able to have a good time without getting drunk or using drugs or whatever, just by your own self-amusement, or just by cracking jokes with people or meeting new people or talking. You should not have to rely on this drink to get you in a good mood, if that makes sense. If you want to be like a self-sufficient person, that's what you have to aim to be. Because next time you're going to be in a company with someone, or you're going to meet someone new, or you're going to be in a situation, not every time you're going to have that drink in your hand to be your best self, to say. Number 7, can't remember the awesome events or the people that you meet. When you get drunk and you go for the whole night, or you know, let's not even use the word drunk, because when I say drunk, I don't mean like you stumble on your feet or you can't even walk. Even a couple of drinks or 3-4 drinks can affect the way that you behave, or the night or memory that you have. Is you meet those awesome people, You have fun with everyone. And let's say something amazing happens or you meet amazing people, but the next day everything seems like a big blur, and you remember the good feelings. You're like, oh yeah, it was a good night, but what was actually good about it? You probably did the same thing that you did last time. Pre-drinks, or even if you didn't do pre-drinks, go to the club, get drunk, dance, randomness, and then go home and pass out. And you just have this good feeling of that it was fun, because why? Alcohol releases serotonin, or it fucks up with your serotonin and neurotransmitters in your brain, and I feel like it gives you like a false, how can I say, a false reality. Because let's say if you get drunk, I'm just, this is like some really random shit, this is like out of the point, but I'm just like throwing it out there as like a thought experiment, I guess. Imagine if you're home, and if you get drunk home by yourself, you'll probably feel, I don't know, you'll probably feel happy, I guess. But then do you feel happy when you're at home by yourself and you're not drunk? So do you have to be drunk all the time to be happy? I don't know. I don't know, man. Reason number 9. Negative long-term effects plus sameness. Sameness is the one thing that I talked about last point, is like get drunk, some random stuff happens, you dance, and then you go home. And then that's why a lot of people stop clubbing as well, because it's just the same shit over and over and over again. And I'm gonna talk about the other alternative that you have in my last point. But the long-term effects is dependency, health issues, mental health, and really, really, really long-term, like bad, negative side effects. For what? For just having a good night, which is a couple of hours, and then in the end it doesn't end to be in the end mostly it's not a good good night as well, I guess. And you have to rely on alcohol to keep repeating and repeating and repeating, and it just becomes a vicious cycle. And probably that's why most people can never quit drinking fully. And number 10, once I learned how to have fun without it, there's no going back. And what is the fun of going out without drinking? What actually makes it fun? Well, first of all, meeting new people and talking to new people. That's what makes it fun, you know. That's what makes it interesting. On a given night out, you never know which person you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to talk to. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what are you guys going to talk about, who's going to react in what way, who's going to be your next new friend, I guess. And that's what makes it fun and keeps it interesting and keeps it new. Talking to random people in a effective way is not easy to be learned, especially if you haven't done it or you've relied only on alcohol to put you in that kind of state. But it's extremely fun if done in the right way. Second of all, what you do, you dance, of course. You're in a club, you're ought to dance. Even if you don't dance, you can just give it a try. When I came here to the UK, the music is really, really, really different to what we play in the clubs back in Bulgaria. So what I had to do for myself, because I like to dance and I like to have fun while dancing, is I had to learn some new dance moves, listen to the more kind of like English music side of things, listen to some songs that I really like and I really like to dance to, and then whenever I see them come up in the dance floor, I hit some moves, do some tricks, you know, everything's fun. So yeah, those are my 10 things and 10 reasons why I don't necessarily drink when I go out clubbing. And, you know, throw like an extra bonus reason there, because I'm driving, I have to get home, that's as well. But everybody's like, oh, I'm the designated driver. And I actually like being a designated driver, because I just don't care. Like, I'm going to the club anyway, so I might as well give you a lift kind of thing. But yeah, hit me up if you have some extra questions, or you want me to go deeper into something, or explain how, like, or my process of having fun, or whatever it is that you want to know when I go on a night out. And I really want to answer this, because again and again, people ask me, how are you sober? Like, why are you sober? What is this? You're lying to me. You're all sober. Or the worst case scenario is sometimes I get a bit too weird or too hyper, and people are like, people think that I'm on drugs or something, you know? Yeah, and I'm really not, man. Like, I'm just trying to have a good time, and sometimes I might come across in a really weird or uncalibrated type of way or say some outlandish shit, but I feel like that's the fun of it in my mind. Yeah, I'll end this video here. It was your favorite Bulgarian. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next time.